Hello, this is Miss Goodwin. Today we are starting Unit 2 with Objective 2.1, Angle Relationships. The objective is that you can apply angle relationships to find missing measurements. So let's get started by talking about what the types of angles and angle relationships are. So in this first table here, we have 4 different types of angles. The first one is an acute angle, which is any angle that is between 0 degrees and 90 degrees. So more than 0, less than 90. And those are going to look something like this. Okay, so a very skinny angle. The next type of angle is a right angle. So right angles are exactly 90 degrees. So they look like this. And they typically will have a little box in the corner to tell you that is exactly 90 degrees. Obtuse angles are greater than 90 degrees, but less than 180 degrees. So they will typically look something like this. Okay, not a straight line yet, but anywhere between 90 and 180 will give you an obtuse angle. And the last angle is a straight angle, which is exactly 180 degrees. That will look like a straight line. Okay. So these are the 4 different types of angles we will be working with. Now let's look at some angle relationships. So our first type of angle relationship is a complementary angles. These are 2 or more angles that add up to 90. So you may see them together like this. Notice we have 2 different angles and together they make a 90-degree angle. Or they might be separated. Okay. And just some notation, let's say this is angle ABC. This is DEF. We can write this like the measure of angle ABC plus the measure of angle DEF equals 90 degrees. Okay. That means measure of. Now, supplementary angles are any 2 angles that add up to 180, or 2 or more angles. Okay. So either we could have 1 angle that's split or 2 angles like so. Or another one you might see is something like this, where you have 3 angles. These are all supplementary angles. Now let's use this as our example here, ABC, DEF. So the measure of angle ABC plus the measure of angle DEF equals 180 degrees. Now the last type of angle relationship that we're covering in this objective are vertical angles. And these are 2 lines intersect or these are found when two lines intersect. The opposite angles are vertical angles, which means they are congruent. Okay. So if we have two lines intersecting like this, let's call this point A, point B, point C, point D, and then point E in the middle. These two angles, AEB and DEC, those are going to be congruent. And then these two angles are congruent as well. So measure of angle AED is congruent with the measure of angle BEC. Okay. So these are our three angle relationships. Pause the video if you need to. Now let's go ahead and look at example 1, level 1. All right, so example 1 wants us to state the relationship between the angles below and find the missing measurements. So this first one here, we have an angle of 42 degrees and an unknown angle, and they are complementary because they form a right angle as denoted by this square. So these are complementary, which means if we add them together, we should get 90 degrees. So 42 plus A equals 90. Now let's subtract the 42 from both sides, and we get A equals 48 degrees. And we are done with that one. Now this next one here, both of these angles form a straight line, therefore they are supplementary. So if we add them together, we should get 180 degrees. Subtract 130 from both sides. We get A equals 50 degrees. Now this last one, we have two angles we are looking for. So angles 123 and C, those are going to be vertical, which means C equals 123. And that's all you got to do for that bit. Now these two, B and 123, those are supplementary. So B plus 123 will give you 180. Subtract 123 from both sides. You get B equals 57. And that is it. Go ahead, try this one on your own real quick, and I'll go ahead and give you the answers in 3, 2, 1. Pause the video if you need to. And here you go. Now let's move on to example 2, level 2. So now we want to state the relationship between the angles and find the missing variable. So now one thing I notice is that these two angles form a straight line. Therefore, they are supplementary. So if we add them together, we will get 180 degrees. Now you're probably wondering, aren't these vertical? We have the two lines intersecting. Notice that they are next to each other on the same straight line. They are only vertical if they are across from each other. Since they're next to each other, They are supplementary. So our equation to solve this is 9v plus 3 plus 60 equals 180. So I've gone ahead and color coded. Now we're going to combine like terms on the left side. So we get 3 plus 60, that is 63. So 9v plus 63 equals 180. Now I'm going to subtract 63 from both sides. That gives us 9v equals 117. Now divide both sides by 9. We get v equals 13. And that is it. Let's try example 3 now. So same thing, state the relationship between the angles and find the missing variable. I see these are complementary. So we're going to add them together. 4w minus 7 plus 7w minus 2 equals 90 degrees. Combine like terms, so we have 4w plus 7w gives us 11w. Negative 7 minus 2 gives us negative 9. Okay. Now we've combined all like terms on either side. Now we have to move over. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. Gives us 11w equals 99. Divide both sides by 11, and we get w equals 9. Woot woot, we are done. Pause the video if needed. And now I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay. Now on the printed copies, I had another problem right here. Just cross that out, okay, like that. Okay. We are going to go ahead and erase this one because this one should not have been part of this. That's a later problem. Okay. But now we want to state the relationship between these two angles and find the missing variable. So now these two angles are across from each other, therefore they are vertical angles. Therefore they are congruent and equal to each other. So we get 7n minus 2 equals 6n plus 6. We don't have any like terms on either side, so I'm just going to start subtracting 6n from both sides to get it out of the right side and only on the left. So we get 7n minus 6n, which gives us 1n minus 2 equals 6. Add 2 to both sides. We get n equals 8. Now for good measure, let's plug that in. 7n minus 2. 7 times 8 minus 2 gives us 56 minus 2, which is 54. And we are done. So go ahead, try this next one by yourself. And I'm going to give you the solution. Pause the video if you need it. Need the time. 3, 2, 1. Here you go. Now let's go ahead and try the next one. Pause the video if needed. And I'll be giving you the answer in 3, 2, 1. Here you go. Go ahead, try this one now. Pause the video if needed. I'll give you the solution in 3, 2, 1. Okay, here you go. Now let's go over a couple level 3 questions. So example 5 wants you to state the relationship between the angles and find the missing variable again. This time we have multiple things. Now notice this has a little square in here, so that means this is 90 degrees. And we have 3 angles all forming a straight line, meaning these are supplementary. You might also hear this referred to as a linear triple. linear for line, triple because there's 3 angles. But we approach this the exact same way we did with supplementary angles that have 2 angles. So we're going to add up all of our angles. So we get 9E plus 9D plus 5E plus 6 equals 180. Now I'm going to combine like terms. So 9E plus 5E is 14E. 90 plus 6 is 96 equals 180. Subtract 96 from both sides. Get 14E equals 84. Divide both sides by 14. And we get E equals 6. Now this last one looks a little trickier. We want to find all the missing measures. So first, we have these 2 angles. This is 129 degrees, and it is a vertical angle with E. So they are congruent. So E is 129 degrees. Now, 129 and F. Those are supplementary. So we get 129 plus F equals 180. Subtract 129 from both sides. F is going to be 51 degrees. Okay. Last but not least, we have D down here, and notice D is also supplementary with this right angle here. This is 90 degrees, so both of these angles are supplementary. So we get D plus 90 equals 180. Minus 90 from both sides. We get D equals 90 degrees. Nice. So D equals 90 degrees. E equals 129 degrees. And F equals 51 degrees. And that is it. Pause the video if needed. Now here's the try it yourself 5 for level 3. Go ahead, pause the video if you need to, and I will be giving you the solution in 3, 2, 1. Here you go. Now the last one. Try it yourself, number 6. Find all the missing measures. Go ahead, give it a try. And I'll give you the answer in 3, 2, 1. There you go. Now this one was a little tricky because you need to find all of Y. So you need to figure out this angle first, which is what I did here with this question mark. But yeah, once you find the question mark, you can start plugging that in, and that will give you Y and X. And that is all I have for you today. We will be doing level 4 separately because those are proofs, and I want to do proofs all at the same time. So hang tight on that. Go ahead, summarize what you learned today, what you found important, how you do this, etc. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.